everybody, and welcome back to Granted Gardens. Tyler here. Still Black Friday. Melissa's still gone, but we're still being creative. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make sauerkraut. We've made it once with purple cabbage, unseasoned. This time we're going to do it with green cabbage, and we're going to season two different ways in two different jars. So, in my experience, generally this will only make 2 jars at once. With this specific recipe, which is just what I use, you can use more or less and put it in different containers, but you will need the burping lids for the jars. So that way the gases can escape, but you want to keep everything pretty much out. I believe this is an anaerobic fermentation, meaning it does not nor want oxygen. So I'll show you what you want to do, we'll show you the steps, and then it's just sit and wait till you can try it. So right here I just have my medium green head cabbage chopped up, not too fine, not too shreddy, and then I've added the tablespoon and a half of salt into it. The next step is just going to be to sit here and mush it up with your hands, maybe punch it a little bit, get some of that turkey out of your system. And then from there, I'll show you the next step. So, since you might not know what I mean by get in there and take out your frustrations on your cabbage, after you've added the salt, you want to get in there and really just kind of smush it around in your hands. You definitely want to mix up the salt a little bit first to kind of pre-coat everything, and then really just get in there and just pretty much squeeze it. Try to do it carefully. I tend to be a very messy cook, but I also clean the kitchen when I'm done, so I don't mind making a mess if I'm the one cleaning it up. But you really just want to get in there and really start smashing it up. Some things, like you can kind of see here, this one is starting to get limp and kind of translucent. That's exactly what you're looking for. That means all the cabbage is starting to loosen up with that salt and put a lot of the liquid out into the rest of it. What you really want to end up with by the end of this is enough cabbage and enough liquid that you didn't add, that it's getting pulled out of the cabbage, to fill up your jars and cover everything. If this doesn't work for you, don't worry. You can just add some water on top and it'll work out just fine. But this is pretty much it. This process should take about 10 minutes of pretty vigorous rubbing and crushing. You can see it's starting to get really wet looking. I wish my microphone could pick it up. You can actually almost hear the liquid being pulled out of this cabbage. But once you get it to this point, you can do one of two things. You can season it now and then put it into the jars, or you can put it into the jars like I'll do and season them both respectively, then kind of shake them up, get them nice and well mixed, and then we'll add the weights. I can double checked, and these actual special lids still let it breathe, but they just are a little more so sanitary than just leaving it open to the air. But it'll still ferment with just the, like we have over there, the coffee filters and rubber bands. So this one we just did in pepper and garlic powder, and this one is more of a Mexican theme with a blend of spices. You can see in there that we have the weights, and I learned a special trick after I did sauerkraut the last time, is by saving 2 of the larger leaves from the head of cabbage before you start cutting it up. And then when you go to start packing these in there, the cabbage, you take one of the larger leaves and kind of tuck it in on top to hold all the small pieces down. Because once these start filling full of liquid, your jar weights will probably be as wide as the mouth, but not as wide as the jar. So when you push down, you'll see them try to fly up over top, and you don't want that. You want them all below the liquid. So right now, these 2 are both set for the next 24 hours. Every so often, I'll come over, I'll push on these weights just to release as much of the liquid out of there as possible, also to compact it as much as possible. Now, if over the next 24 hours, the liquid does not fully cover all of the cabbage, you can add water on top just to complete the process and get them completely covered. So generally when you do that, you have to dissolve a teaspoon of salt per cup of water that you'll need to cover everything. So as of right now, if say they still look like this after 24 hours with not enough liquid to cover it all, I would do that to both of these 2 jars. But that's it for now. As soon as the 24 hours process is up, during that process, I'll show you coming over, pushing it down, letting some of the liquid come back up, compacting some of the cabbage back down. I'll show that process, and then once we get ready to set them for a long period of time, I'll take another short video showing you that process. It's not hard. All it is pretty much pushing the first 24 hours, letting the liquid come out, and then that's it for 2 to 3 weeks. More if you like it super zingy, less if you like it less. Pretty self-explanatory. But thanks for watching so far, and I can't wait to show you the rest of the process.